What is up, everyone? Welcome to Reality Room Podcast with Paul and Chris.
Giving you the latest on Big Brother 18, episodes 11 and 12.
That's right, guys. This is Reality Room Podcast, episode 26, I believe. So,
is it 26?
I think it's 26.
Oh, whatever.
So let's jump. Actually, before we jump right into the episode, please check us out on our live feeds, online on our chat page called Reality Room Podcast. If you want to join, either look up Reality Room Podcast in the live feed chat or PM us your name and we'll add you to the chat. So let's jump right into the episode.
Alright, so episode 11, we have the live eviction. There's 9 people that are voting. There's 3 people on the block, and it takes 5 votes to get evicted. Unless it's a tie, Bridget's breaking it. But before that even happens, there's a whole recap about this whole entire week. So we're on day 27. Frank thinks Tiffany is going home. Thinks she's going home.
We all thought she was going home this week.
Paul says he's the smallest target out of the group. Bronte says that she'll be shocked if she leaves. Day says that she can use Tiffany to get Frank out. James says getting Bronte out would be the best decision.
I don't... Why? Why does anyone think getting Bronte out...
Why does James think that's the best decision?
Probably because he wants to get closer to Natalie, but it's like, why would anyone think getting Bronte out is a good idea? It's not a good idea. Getting Paul out is the best idea out of the 3.
Yes, we were saying that, last episode we were talking about how each of them leave and benefits one group and disadvantages another group.
Bronte leaving, the only person it benefits is Tiffany.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Okay, so
People
Nicole,
are so stupid.
Michelle, James, and Day, they all want to keep Tiffany, so that's like 4 votes right there.
That's solid.
Z says she'll keep Tiffany, which is now 5 votes, and Paulie says Tiffany can blow up everyone's game. Woohoo!
Well, foreshadowing.
That, yeah. Tiffany's a strong strategist. The hashtag aspect ratio. Bronte can't win, and Tiffany can win. So that's why they were saying keeping Bronte would not be good, because she can't win to get...
Because she can't win?
Because Bronte is less likely to go after Frank than Tiffany.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, Bronte has said that she would go after Frank.
But she can't win to get Frank out.
Neither of them at this point have won any competitions. So how is one more likely to win? And Bronte has done much better in competitions than Tiffany has.
Well, foreshadowing, Tiffany wins the roadkill.
Well, I mean, but not at this point.
Alright, well anyways, moving forward, Paulie says Tiffany can target anyone. Frank tells Nicole he wants to get Day out. We have this whole entire Frank, Nicole, Day triangle of miscommunication.
It's so weird because Nicole was trying to like play with Frank earlier this week, and now she decides not to play with Frank. She wanted to get Day out with Frank, and now she wants to get Frank out with Day. Yeah. Make up your mind, Nicole. Yeah, we don't like flip-floppers in the house. We want someone who has a dead set target and goes after them.
Right. So Frank says he can work with Nicole and Corey. They have like this foursome alliance that might be good for Nicole. With Bridget, I think. Yeah, with Bridget. Nicole says she won't be on board for getting out Day to Michelle. I think.
Well, that's not the case. What happens is, I saw this on the feeds, you had Michelle talking to Frank about, Frank was telling Michelle about his idea,
too. I remember that, yeah.
With Bridget, about his idea to get Day out of the house, and Frank had told this to Nicole before, and Nicole told Frank, do not tell Michelle about this because I don't think she would be down. And Nicole's like, yeah, no problem. Because at this point, Nicole was considering getting Day out. Yeah. And then Michelle goes up to Day with Nicole, and Michelle's like, yeah, Frank wants to get you out. And he said that Nicole knew about it. And Nicole puts on this fake surprise face like...
Yeah.
And Day's like, this bitch, I see right through you.
Bitch. All right. But moving forward, Michelle tells Day and Nicole about the whole entire conversation that Frank is having. And Day says, maybe Nicole did say that about getting her out. And Nicole pretty much lies to Devon and says that she never said that, and Frank's playing both sides, and we gave him way too many chances, and he blew up. I mean,
and it's at this point that Nicole decides, okay, I'm done with Frank, I'm sticking with Devon. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, so Paulie says by sending Bronte home, Frank will be blindsided, and yeah.
I mean, he would be blindsided, but that doesn't exactly do anything, does it?
It was more like a fuck you to Frank.
Yeah, and that's why Tiffany is so pissed off about the vote later when we get to it.
Right. So that concludes the flashback moments within the eviction episode. But let's talk about the votes right now and the speeches everyone gave. So Paul says that he had like the time of his life here. He has like this whole mustache thing.
Yeah, I know. It's a little.
I don't know. I like Paul. So
Not digging the mustache, Paul, but keep doing what you're doing.
Now, then Tiffany gets up and says this whole speech about how Frank's a dictator and she cannot wait to get rid of Frank and his Cabbage Patch Kid, which is Bridget.
Yeah, and Cabbage Patch Kid becomes a fucking like a household name after this. Everyone calls Bridget Cabbage Patch Kid after this conversation, which I think is hilarious.
I think it's hysterical.
I saw like this little picture of Frank holding like
I saw that
Patch Kid with Bridget's face on it. And I was just dying. It's so funny.
And it was like funny because like right after Tiffany said her speech, Bronte gets up. Okay, so not gonna go there.
Not gonna be mean, guys.
And then she like thanks everyone for the having a great time. Then then everyone starts fucking voting, and
that is true. They all
the panic happens because let's talk because Frank votes out Tiffany, Natalie votes out Tiffany, and then Paulie votes out Tiffany, and then it cuts to commercial. So it's like already 3 votes, so 2 more, and then she would have been out. Correct.
It wasn't Paulie. It was
Paulie voted out Tiffany.
It was. They didn't show him first though. They showed him last.
Oh, was it James then?
Yeah, it was James.
Okay, my bad. So it was Frank, James, and Natalie. They voted out Tiffany. Then they cut to commercial, and then they went back, and Nicole votes out Bronte, Z votes out Bronte, Michelle votes out Bronte, then Paulie votes out Tiffany, and then Corey votes out Bronte, which is a 5-4 vote.
And then Davon votes out.
No, I think Corey was the last one to vote.
No.
Oh, no, you're right.
It was
right,
Paulie and then Bronte.
You're right.
Paulie voted out.
I'm getting confused with the last week. Sorry, guys.
Doesn't matter, guys. Paulie votes out Tiffany, so it was 4-4.
Yes.
Because you know how they fucking like to do this with all this, oh my god, the fucking, like, suspense. Everyone watching the feeds already knows that Tiffany's staying.
You never know.
Because they all said, oh, we're going to split the votes this way, so Frank's confused, and then Davon votes out Bronte.
Right, so what happens is Bronte gets evicted, and then the look on Frank and Bridget's face is like, ooh, yeah.
Yeah, Frank's kind of like...
Yeah. And then the best part in that was when Michelle's walk. Like, she was like pretending like she was upset that Tiffany didn't go home, but she brought out Bronte.
Michelle's pretty fucking funny.
I like that. I thought that was so funny.
Yeah, she's pretty funny.
I love Michelle. Hope you're watching this.
Michelle, I hope you're watching this whenever you get out of the house.
Hopefully not
2.5 months from now. Spoiler, she's not.
So anyways, then they go right to the HOH competition, and they have to guess pictures with Jose, Victor, and Glenn called Euro Trippin'. And first question, Corey, James, Natalie, Z, and Paul all get out.
They all suck. And Paul on the feeds was like, I'm so good at memory comps. Listen, if it's between me and someone else at the end, and I know the answer, I'm just going to yell, friendship. And that's how you know to throw it to me. I'm just, and then he gets out first.
Yeah, so the second question, everyone gets it right. Third question, Tiffany, Michelle, and Day, they all get it wrong. And
come on, baby!
It comes down to...
Frank yells, come on!
Yeah, so it comes down to Paulie,
come on!
It comes down to Paulie, Frank, and Nicole, and Paulie wins. Which unfortunately means that Bridget, Frank, and Michelle are all safe.
Unfortunately for the house. If you like Frank, I guess that's good for you.
Yeah. So, I mean... Yeah, so Paulie wins again.
Paul
says that he would shave his beard for safety. That was like, they had like the whole entire explosion, and then they asked Paul about his fucking beard.
And James says he misses his daughter.
Yeah. So,
alright, so we ready to jump into episode 12? It's 12, right?
Jump episode 12. I'm sorry, I have like whole notes on these live feed stuff.
Alright, guys,
so episode 12, we're on day 30. Nicole says Frank knows someone flipped. And Nicole says to Frank she doesn't know who voted. And Corey's playing dumb, Paulie's keeping Frank in the dark, and James feels bad for Natalie. And Natalie is sad.
On the feeds, Natalie was all like, "Oh, I'm by myself in this house," and James is kind of upset with her because he's like, "Well, you have me."
Yeah. Bridget says that her HOH was worthless, and I 100% agree.
Well, it was worthless.
Yeah, I mean that's what you get for trusting Frank.
I mean that's what you get for being a no-name and then finally coming out of the woodwork, and then just following someone else.
Yeah.
The whole time.
So then Tiffany. So this is okay. Tiffany told Day we're going back to like this whole communication. Tiffany did told Day about an all-girl alliance, and then Day told Frank the same information, and Frank used that information to fuck over Day.
Yeah. Now, if I had to think in my head on why Tiffany did do this, it was because back in season 17, Devon tried to start an all-girls alliance and blamed it on Vanessa. So Tiffany, this is my opinion, Tiffany was probably going to try to start an all-girl alliance and blame it on Devon this time. So that's why I think Tiffany did what she did. Because I think she wanted to pin it on Day because she already did that in a previous season. And people could say, oh, Day's just doing the same shit.
Yeah. So
kind of smart.
Yeah.
But this doesn't really work this time. I mean, people don't trust Day now, so I guess it does kind of work, but not in her favor.
Day says she needs to get it together because she has this whole fight with Frank about the all-girl alliance.
Said how?
Yeah. And I have this on here. Like this whole timeline stuff.
That was a fun-ass fight.
Yeah, the whole fucking day was just... the whole day.
The whole day was just...
So I want to kind of like switch to like how the live feed stuff was to the episode, because there's a lot of stuff in the episode that we didn't get from the live feeds. So in order, Natalie talks to James about getting blindsided. Paulie, Corey, Frank, and Bridget are talking about Tiffany and the votes.
Yeah, Paul then goes up and lies to Paulie and the new HOH and everyone in the room about how Tiffany was making a deal with Frank, which was not happening at the time, mind you.
Yeah.
And then they all decide to put Tiffany on the block that week.
Right, so Paulie is saying Michelle flipped, and now we get this whole fight. Frank tells Tiffany that Day told him that he was coming after Frank. And Frank swears him on everything. Then Day says that Frank told her that Bridget said there was an all-girl alliance, and Paulie is trying to clear the air. Frank says he was never going to go after Paulie and Corey, which is a complete lie. And Paul is just really confused.
Yeah, and Paul's just shit.
Paul's just like, I was on the block. Why am I?
Paul's just shit stirring the whole fucking time with his with just lying to the house basically about Tiffany. I think he really wants Tiffany out. I don't know why he does, but he does.
Yeah. So moving forward, Nicole, Day, Z, and Michelle talk about Frank lying. Paul walks in, Nicole leaves, and they are constantly talking about how they got out of the first question with the red tie.
Yeah, I mean, they all suck, that's why.
So, Big Sister talks about Frank's lies, about getting Tiff out. Paulie talks to Corey, Paul, and Day about getting Natalie and Tiffany out.
Which, alright, I mean, makes sense for their game, at the very least.
Yeah. So then Day says to Frank that she's surprised about Frank. Like, this was in the episode 2, where Day's trying to just, like, do as much damage control with Frank as she can, because why not?
Yeah, I mean, she apologized. I mean, he apologizes to her, and, like, he's still, like, legitimately confused on why she doesn't like him. I mean, like, he has apologized, and he seems sincere, and he stopped doing all that butt-snatching thing, so...
But she's doing good. I think Davon's conversation with Frank was good. On the live feeds, it made sense. Like, she's like, oh, I don't really care about you slapping my ass, blah, blah, blah. And, I mean, she's playing it... I like Devon this season. She's keeping it together. She's not, like... She had, like, a little freak out, but it was wasn't too bad.
Yeah,
she's like, all right, I'll keep it together.
She caught herself, which is
she's
good.
like, okay, no Shelly and Clay, no Shelly and Clay.
Yeah, no Shelly Clay, for the love of God.
Day acts, so Day acts like she has to act like she hates Frank and lies to tell... Wait, lies... Oh, yeah. So he pretty much lies and says that she didn't vote out Bronte, she voted Tiffany out. Day questions Frank. Day tells Frank she didn't start an all-girl alliance. And, she says she's felt bad and she has a genuine bond with Frank because she was a super fan of Frank.
Yeah, okay. I feel like this is everyone's conversation with Frank, basically. Yeah. I feel like Tiff has the same conversation with her. And 5 minutes later.
So Dave says she found out that Frank was targeting her. And,
are you sure this isn't Tiffany right now?
This is Day.
All right.
This is Day.
It's the same
thing, the same exact shit.
The same thing
conversation
we're talking about. All right, keep going.
He told Day his targets are Corey and Paulie. I don't know what.
Coolio. Okay, so then we have Tiffany talking to Frank. We have Tiffany talking to Natalie first. She's crying or whatever. And she's just like, I'm all alone in the house. I have nobody at all. And I'm a target this week because they all fucking hate me for... She doesn't know why, honestly. Honestly, it's basically just because she's Vanessa's sister and she cries a lot. So she has a big target on her back, and she was kind of having like an emotional breakdown. And then they show her talking to Frank. What do you think about? You want to talk a little bit about that?
Who? I'm sorry. Who's talking to Frank?
Tiffany talking to Frank in the half.
Oh yeah. Yeah. About that, like it's just they're both pretty shocked because I think Tiffany thought that she would have had more votes to stay than.
Yeah, because they told her at 2 a.m. that
they told her the day before that.
Hey, you're staying, and she's kind of like.
And Paulie said that.
Wasn't I always staying?
Yeah. So she's genuinely confused.
Genuinely confused.
And I mean, I don't know.
And
they're just confused.
I don't know.
Now.
They're just confused.
And now they need to work. They're like, oh, we're gonna work together, and then this whole explosion happens later.
So they basically pin the whole thing on Day, because they're like, oh, Day pinned us against each other. Tiff says they should have worked together since day one. Her and Frank. They kind of clear the air, and Tiff's like, fuck all of them. I'm alone. Let's work together now because I have no one else in this game. And trust me, Frank, you don't either. They all want you out. And Frank's like, well, fuck, you might be right. And so now they're working together. They have a big hug, and Day tells Tiff to go into the one of the rooms to talk.
Yeah, and then they had such Nicole had an awkward conversation with fucking
What's
Tiffany.
up?
What? No, with Nicole.
What's up?
I know. Nicole's like, I know you and Frank don't really get along. I just wanted to make sure you were okay.
No, Nicole, you only care about your fucking self.
So let's talk about Tiffany versus Day fight.
What's up? Come on, do it with me. What are you doing?
Day, what's up?
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
I don't know. You tell me what's.
What's up? What's up?
Day asks Tiffany why she's crying. Tiffany is saying that she's a loyal person, and so Day's like, okay.
Then Tiff's just like crying and shit about her, like betraying her or whatever, and Day's just like laughing, and I'm just like, all right, it's not the right time to laugh. You can laugh when you leave the room.
I thought it was funny. I'm sorry.
I didn't think it was.
I thought it was because you have to see it in the perspective of Devon. Like this is the same shit Vanessa did, same exact thing, and Devon's like, okay, like you're doing the same thing your sister did.
Vanessa never blew up.
Okay, well, whatever. So Tiffany says like, oh, like this all-girl line's bullshit. It's the same thing fucking you did to Vanessa.
I can't believe Tiffany had such a calculated emotional breakdown in the house. So much like Vanessa, so calculated. It's not calculated. She was legitimately upset.
Yeah, so Tiffany says she's in the same house, in the house over, and this was pretty much a big fuck you to Frank instead of just me staying here. Day says to Tiff that Tiff was told by Frank and Bridget to make that speech. Like, I don't know what Day was talking about. Something about like she told like Tiffany. Day was told that Tiffany was told by Frank and Bridget to make that speech, and that's bullshit.
Okay, coolio.
Tiff says, okay, I'm sorry, I'm still going on with this. All right, Tiff says she never gets information. Tiff says shit's gonna get blown up now, and then Paul walks in. Tiff tells Paul to leave, and Paul's like, okay, whatever. And Tiff says Z and Day are the worst. Z says that she's been truthful and that she voted her to stay. And then Frank walks in, makes it so fucking awkward. And then Tiffany asks Paul about the 4-person deal with Frank, Bridget, Paul, and Bridget. And Paul, because apparently Paul witnessed that information. And Paul says, and quote, who was after who? And Tiffany's telling Paul, like, swear on your mother's life and all this stuff. And Paul's like, I'm not doing that. Like, sorry, I'm not going to swear on my mother's life about this information. And then Nicole is saying that Frank's going to recruit Tiffany.
Which is really not really what happens. It's kind of like Tiff kind of recruits Frank more than Frank recruits Tiff. If you look at like the feeds and stuff.
Yeah. Because
Tiff had nobody and now she had Frank. So it's really Tiff that got the gain, not Frank.
Mm-hmm. So then, I'm trying to get the order right here. Nicole. So they're all like pretty much ventilating about like Tiffany, like she's crying, she's emotional, and then Nicole gets like really pissed off.
Yeah, because she's
the whole Corey thing.
Because Corey said some shit about Tiffany, which he did do, and then it's coming back to him. And Tiffany found out about it, and Nicole's like, "This isn't true." And Corey's like in the diary room, "It is true, but."
Yeah, But then, like, the whole thing, Corey says that, like, you know, we saved your ass. Nicole says she's not going to say what Frank said that came out of his mouth because it's personal. And it's not game-related. And then she ends up, like she has, like, a little crying moment. And
They all literally at some point have personally attacked Tiffany to one another in the past week. Frank, Nicole, Corey, Zakiya, Paulie, they've all personally attacked her to each other.
But Nicole's saying that he's using that for game-related purposes.
Who is?
That Frank's saying that Nicole said all this personal shit.
Well, they've all said personal shit.
Yeah.
Whether it's for game or not, they've all said it.
I just feel like this whole entire day was just
Nicole
an
said
emotional
that for
fucking
game
wreck.
too. Yeah, it was.
All right.
Honestly, it's crazy.
So, what's that? 15? Okay, so moving forward to the next day, James and Paulie talk. Nicole, Paulie, and Corey. Frank thinks that Nicole, Paulie, and Corey voted out Tiffany. It's not true. James says he's close to Devon, and James is talking about, like, what the fuck was with this all-girl alliance. Nicole says she's over Frank, and Nicole says Frank threw James's name under the bus. Now we're going back to this shit again.
Well, Frank threw everyone's name under the bus, so it's all basically come out already.
Yeah.
That he has.
Okay, and then Paulie says that Day told him that Frank teamed up with Tiffany now that she's a free agent. It's all fucking Tiffany at this point.
All right, so let's get to the nominations.
Yeah, let's get to
this is all bullshit at this point. We already
bullshit.
People tell people that this happened. Yeah, we already know.
Yeah.
All right, so the nominations come up, and it's Tiffany and Natalie,
Yep.
as expected. Paulie wanted to do that even before the Tiffany blow up.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently after the nomination, Tiff. Actually, that's after the roadkill. Never mind. So Tiffany kind of gets a little, kind of like rolls her eyes or whatever, and walks up to Frank, and she's like, "Listen, let's get Corey on the block. If one of us win a roadkill."
But why Corey though?
He has the best shot of leaving because he's a guy.
Oh, I guess.
And he's not that great of a competitor.
That's how we find out later. But
Well, All right, so let's go to the
big
roadkill.
roadkill. So they pretty much have to get as many air fresheners stocked in a, what is it? A rope?
Kind of like a long,
It's like a long rope, right?
like a metal rope or something. I don't know, something like that.
It's called gasping for air.
And it smells like shit in there, apparently.
Yeah, it smells like really bad poop.
Bad, like poopy.
So Tiffany wins it. She gets 31 air fresheners, and Tiff tells Day she won, and Corey's going up.
Right.
So Tiffany does kind of trust Devon at this point.
Yeah, she does. Tiffany does really well in the competition. Gets like 30, I think.
31, yeah.
They were saying on the line.
And they're all saying it was Frank. It was Frank. There's no way it was Tiffany.
That's the only person that said that is Corey, because he's a fucking moron. He's like, I just don't see that girl winning any competition. She sucks. Like, she sucks at everything. Like, I don't see her winning competition. Corey, shut up. No one saw you winning the veto. That's why you were on the block.
Yeah.
Like, you suck at comps as much as Tiff does. You both only won one.
Yeah. So roadkill ceremony happens and Corey gets nominated, and he pretty much said, like, I'm not gonna get pissed off. I'm not gonna make any big waves. And yeah.
Yeah.
So that concludes the 2 episodes.
Yep.
It was pretty fucking crazy.
All right, so let's talk a little bit more about live feed stuff.
Now we're going to be talking about some live feeds and spoilers.
That's what I just said, yes. So we're going to talk about some live feeds and spoiler stuff, guys. I don't know why we keep saying it like 30 times. But anyway, so basically after the roadkill competition, like we said before, Tiffany does nominate Corey. Corey's like, whatever. But their goal this week is to get Corey out of the house. And at this point, they think they can get the votes. They think they can get James, which they probably could.
And Devon.
Yeah, Devon, Frank, Bridget, and they think they could possibly sway Michelle. Honestly, I could see them swaying Michelle just because Michelle would probably say, well, Corey's a guy, so there's a better shot. But I'm not entirely sure. If anything, it more likely would have been 4-4.
Okay, going back to what you were saying, the only reason why I don't think that Michelle would vote out Corey over Tiffany is because Michelle's been talking a lot about wanting Tiffany out. So why would she risk her saying that information and vote out Corey instead? She has not said one bad thing about Corey, so it wouldn't have to make any sense. Even though she is a guy, most of the guys are out at this point. They're not doing this whole guy-girl ratio thing.
Yeah, well, they thought they could have got Paul or something. Honestly, it would have been 4-4, even if Corey was on the block during eviction night. So let's talk a little bit about. Well, things could have swayed a lot like they always do, but who knows? So let's talk a little bit about the veto competition. So you want to just go with the winner?
Oh yeah. The winner was Corey, and apparently the veto competition was something about them having like run around, and I don't even know what it was. I think it was a mental comp. But then like I heard that Tiffany got out first, and then
there's no way.
And then after that they're like, let's just do whatever we want.
I'm sorry, guys. There's no way Corey won a mental comp. He's too stupid. This is just my Corey impression.
Oh, yeah.
If you're a Corey fan, I don't actually mean this. Corey's just... I don't believe he won the veto. There's no way he won. Like, that guy can't do comps for shit. Like, look at him. He can't win shit. Anyway, sorry. So, yeah, Corey does win veto. And it's obviously... It's looking like he's going to take himself down. But before the veto competition, he was saying... He had made a little deal with Natalie. He's like, listen, if I win, I might take you down if you promise to vote Tiffany out. And Natalie does promise to vote Tiffany out. So it's kind of like, I don't really know what's going to happen.
I think he's going to use it on himself. He'll know once he gets the veto just to use it on himself.
Or he said he wasn't going to use it at all, which is also a little surprising.
I just use the veto on yourself. Even Tiffany and Frank were telling Corey to use the veto on himself.
Yeah, like, don't be stupid. Come on.
Don't pull Marcellus.
Yeah, don't pull Marcellus.
Don't need that.
And don't pull, like, what Paul was saying that he was going to do the first week.
Which was what?
He was saying that he wasn't going to use it at first, and then they talked him into it. I don't know. It was so stupid. Anyway.
Yeah. The whole house was apparently... Devon and Zakiya were, like, crying, and they were getting emotional. And Corey's like, why is everyone getting so emotional that I won the veto? Corey's, like, confused about that.
Yeah, and it's this crying stuff by all the girls that kind of has the... And Tiffany comes up later and reveals the Fatal Five to Paulie. And so this kind of spurs the creation of the All Guys Alliance. I believe minus Frank. I'm pretty sure they tell James, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah. So it's between Paulie, Corey, and Paul at first, and I think they bring James in. I don't think they bring Frank in. No. To my knowledge, I don't think they bring Frank in.
Yeah, so... It's crazy. I don't know. I just... Like, once everything is, like, out there, and it's kind of just, like, good. It's entertaining to me.
There's so many fucking alliances.
Alliances are out the window at this point. It's more about, like, who you think you trust and who do you think should go.
It's all about who wins, honestly.
And who wins, yeah.
And who's most persuasive.
Because Frank's the one that made the alliance with the APAC and Paulie wasn't in it, so then Paulie would still target Frank. And even though Devon made Fatal 5, I mean...
Didn't Tiffany made Fatal 5?
No, fuck it. Yeah, Tiffany made Fatal 5, not Devon.
Yeah. Tiffany made Fatal 5. So it's, like, so confusing at this point.
I still think Devon should not be the target for a while because she's going to go after Frank, she's going to go after Natalie, and she's going to go after Bridget. No matter what. She's not teaming up with them. I don't think so. I don't think Devon's going to team up with them.
I don't think Devon has a choice. I think she's going to pull a Tiffany. If she stays, I think she's going to pull what Tiffany did and side with Frank and Bridget because they all want her out now.
Maybe. I don't...
And Frank doesn't have a choice who to work with either, and Devon's not going to have a choice, so it's going to be so complicated. Like, the only people that like Day are James and Natalie. Well, I don't even know if Natalie does.
That would also be pretty good, too, though.
Only James. I think only James, honestly. Maybe Michelle, but Michelle's been easing up on that Showman's Alliance so fucking quick.
Yeah. I don't know. I still think they need to just... Tiffany needs to go... Whatever, she gets back into the house, they get her out again, or they get Frank out, or they get Bridget out.
I think she'll be safe if she comes back. I think that's going to be the
and then their next target will be Frank, and then that's when they're going to have to go from there.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. So, anything else? Did we get any update on who won? What happened with the veto ceremony? I mean,
not
437.
Not yet. It's. Oh wait, no, yeah. Says save?
Nah, Devon got nominated.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, so Devon got nominated. She can't vote.
Yep. All right, guys. So because Devon, so they were talking a little bit last night, and Chris is like, "No, they shouldn't do this." But Nicole and Corey were talking last night, and they were saying how they might potentially try to save Tiffany again, and because I don't know, it was a little fucking weird, and because Corey was all like, "I don't know if Tiffany's gonna throw HOH next week," and I'm just kind of like. Doesn't that imply that you're keeping her? Because I didn't catch everything. I caught like little bits, and it was just so confusing. I was like, all right, so I guess they might try to keep her, but I don't
It just doesn't make sense.
Paulie does not want to keep her.
No, I agree with Paulie. I don't know like why. Like I know he keeps bringing up the Vanessa thing. I'm like, but it's like,
and they don't have the votes anyway. Honestly,
I think
they have 4 at the most.
I don't blame Paulie for targeting Tiffany, and especially that the Fatal 5 that she made the Fatal 5. I don't blame Paulie for fucking targeting Tiffany because she made this alliance. She had these little groups of people in the beginning, and it just and then I feel like Paulie was like, oh, why to get rid of Victor and then do all the girls' dirty work, and now he finally figures out like this girl alliance happens, and he's like, okay, Paul, Corey, let's do this. I don't blame him. That's what I'm saying. I don't like when people are like, I hate Paulie now. Like, oh, Paulie's going after Tiffany because he's Vanessa's sister. I hate that.
That is the reason though. He just says all he does every time he talks about Tiffany is says Tiffany does this like Vanessa. Tiffany does this like Vanessa. Why don't you just say Tiffany does this and I want her out because of that? Don't just say it's because of Vanessa. No one cares about Vanessa. It's BB18, not BB17. Like your brother wasn't on BB17, so why the fuck do you care? Just say, listen, I want Tiff out because she's doing X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Not because Vanessa did it.
I think he's just saying that because it's like, I don't know. There has to be. I think it's like an extra convincing way of like, okay.
Like people don't know she's Vanessa's sister?
They do.
We all know. Oh, fucking Paulie.
Whatever.
And he has
once Tiffany leaves, everything's gonna,
I don't think.
I'm kind of, I love Tiffany, but they need to vote her out.
The shit's not gonna stop. It's gonna keep on stirring, even if she leaves. No matter who leaves, it's good. Game
That's
fucking
good.
on now.
Good.
All right, so
game on.
Talk about your reality room news.
Oh yeah, so Sequester 3.0 is happening Friday.
For those that don't know what that is, Sequester was the show that both Chris was on with Tiffany in season 2. So, if you want to see some Tiffany gameplay, you can go back and watch that. If you want to see our buddy Chris play, watch that. Or if you want to watch the new season, check out the website down below. So, Chris?
We're also going to be doing a cast analysis on season 3 of Sequester. We also know that Andrew Gibson from season 12 is also going to be on it.
Yep. If you guys don't remember who he is, he was the podiatrist.
That
was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I thought it was an interesting choice.
So, until next time, guys. Peace.
Later, gator. What do you have me doing?